Now, I have not seen this card before, and I haven't really seen very much of it. It's very rare that I see that card. Oh, Grand Cross, the Provoker. It's honestly like this card is suggesting that things are kicking off and getting started, but there's a lot of aspecting things about this chart. Like if you look at it, it shows what the Grand Cross looks like. Now, I don't think this is necessarily the Lion's Gate because I believe the Lion's Gate's a little different, but I do know that the crossing energies could have a lot to do with not only squares but also oppositions. So there may be something in your chart that's opposing or squaring one of your natal charts. So I would just, if you guys are not familiar with that, definitely see an astrologer for that. And I do chart readings myself. So if you want to book one for me there, that's cool too. But the point of this energy here is that there is a lot of challenging energy around you. There may be a lot of challenging energy or energy that would suggest there be something pretty intense, but ultimately very profound in your development as being a person, right? So I'm going to quickly flip through here and kind of get a better idea of the Grand Cross. But yeah, the key ideas is pressure, discipline, frustrations, growth, defensiveness, competition, and victory. So yeah, being overwhelmed by this reality of situations. So it's almost like something has set in, right? The reality of it set in, and now you're looking at this like, oh my goodness, is this really happening? But there's a lot of focus on the self-worth, on breaking through a difficult time, right? It's not necessarily like the easiest, but it's not something that you cannot overcome, okay? Yeah, it's not easy. When I see oppositions and squares in this chart, I already got an idea. Like that's an overwhelming amount of stuff going on. So it's very easy to kind of let this energy kind of crush you. But I feel like Capricorn, because you are a Capricorn, you ain't gonna let that shit happen. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what is causing you guys to be feeling the pressure here. What's going on with that? All right, I like this reading, because I love the happy ever after ending here, like this happily ever after kind of vibe I'm getting with the sun. But you guys are going through something different, something definitely challenging. And you want to get it right the first time, but let's just be honest with you. The only way that you're going to get something right is by making those mistakes. And I'm not saying you're making a mistake or there's a mistake that needs to be made, but that is so coming up as an indication to me that there's something to be transformed or something to be adjusted. There's something rather to be transformed or transitioned. Something is gone, something is done. And in order for you to be able to embrace this fully is by taking it in head on. You can prepare, you can have things lined up as much as you want to, but no amount of savings is going to prepare you for something that you don't know is coming. So I think the situation is that Capricorn, there's something going on, there's something coming in, and you know there's some seriously big changes. They could be really good changes, or they could be really difficult changes, right? Either way, or they could be a mixture of both, just because of just the situation, right? Whatever this change is making space for you to be able to have what you want and to be able to go for what you want without any interruption. But the Knight of Pentacles is very slow energy as well. Death is slow energy too. But the Knight of Pentacles to me would suggest that there's something that's being held on to. There's a lot of focus on what needs to be done rather than experiencing the death of something. So it's easy to just be, to be focused and concentrating on what is believed to be done and so forth. But I kind of get the vibe that with death coming up, that needs to go too. Whatever this is whatever this focus is, it needs to go too. Now, that's for very few of you. I kind of feel like really the main message of this is that you are going through the changes, you are going to do the transitions, but there is probably a little bit of resistance to it because there are things that are changing about what you're also letting go of. The underlying energy is the Queen of Wands. It could be a person in your life, a new person in your life, someone that you find attractive, someone that really gets your energy going, where this is to do with passion, this is to do with what makes you happy and makes you feel creative. There may be a creative aspect of you that's being noticed today or being recognized. The Hermit energy. Why is Hermit energy coming out? The Wheel of Fortune. Knight of Cups, Two of Pentacles. So you've been doing stuff alone for a long time, but then if somebody comes in, someone that has a cup of love that offers it to you, and then this brings an opportunity to fall in love again. And now, right, I think there was a period where you needed yourself for a moment. You didn't need anyone else. You wanted yourself to give you the guidance that you need, and you were able to receive that. But then now you have the Queen of Wands coming back. So I don't know if this is you per se. I feel like this may have to do with someone else. And I feel like this is not necessarily about a relationship, but rather how you can be you with someone else. How you can still be your rock solid Capricorn self when involving another person. It's almost like still having that freedom within a relationship, because the Hermit would suggest that you took in a step back. You had an opportunity, you recoiled a little, and now you're fighting. You're getting your fight back, or you're trying to get your fight back. Now, in the past, you have the Two of Wands, and this would suggest that you made a decision here. You made a choice about where you wanted to go with what you were feeling and how you wanted to feel. You were ready to go ahead and take the steps to be happy. And there was no wrong direction. You chose a path and you went down with it. But now you have the Eight of Cups, the Eight of Swords here. The Eight of Swords would suggest that you're feeling trapped in your thoughts currently, or you're overwhelmed with a lot of things that are processing in your mind. This could do with if you have enough money, if you have enough education, if you have enough prepared. But there's something also that you may be trying to manifest and work very hard on, or maybe there's been a lot of procrastinating and now you're kind of feeling like, oh no, what am I going to do? Now, sometimes it could be procrastination. Sometimes it could just be that something's taking a very long time to go to progress, and you may not be feeling like you're seeing the situation for what it really is, when in actuality you may not need to see anything, right? Really weird for the Eight of Swords, for an Eight of Swords message, right? Maybe you don't need to see everything. Maybe you don't need all the information. Maybe being in the moment is all you need to have, all you need to be worried about, because the Queen of Wands is always in the moment. No matter what happens, she will deal with it when it comes up. If it doesn't come up, there's nothing to worry about. If it does come up, there's something to worry about, but only if that's the case. But I feel like the situation is preemptive. It's like things are changing, things are adjusting, things are moving in a really good direction, or it can be, or at least it's exfoliating the area so that way there can be good things. But there's always this nagging kind of person in the head. Well, what about this? Do you have this? Are you prepared for this? It's almost like somebody's trying to organize a list when they haven't really been through something in order to know what they're missing. I feel like Capricorn, and I know it's weird, you may go down a path, or you may be feeling like you're going down a path where you don't have all the information, but that's okay. You don't have the information. As long as you keep it, if you approach it with a cool mind and a cool attitude, everything should be fine. But the situation is showing that there may be a desire to prepare for something that you don't see coming, because not only are you not able to see it because there's a lot of feeling of not being prepared, it could get you set back, but that there's nothing really to look for, because ultimately, no matter what happens, you have your back, you can handle it anyway. So the biggest struggle I'm noticing, it seems like there's a lot of struggling with yourself, because you're not allowing yourself to just be in the moment and know that you will be able to handle it, because you take this time to figure out true solutions. Who you truly are is able to dissect and to figure out what really works for the situation, because you're willing to take the time to get all the details necessary for that situation to be resolved properly. You have this capability and you can do it. The only issue is not allowing yourself to, or not giving yourself that opportunity to face the problem first before solving a problem. Because I don't think anything's wrong. I feel like, yes, you're going through a transition that's going to take time to get used to. But even in doing that, are you allowing yourself the time and patience to adapt to what's new? So your future shows the sun. The future shows the sun. That's a great card to have. That shows potential for happiness. That's warmth. That's also feeling like you have a purpose, a set purpose, or you have what you need to do to be happy. But until you see this, until you know what you need to do to be happy, you have to just acknowledge whatever you don't know will come to you when it's time. Let's see, why is the Eight of Swords coming up for Capricorn in the present? Why is the Eight of Swords coming up for Capricorn in the present? Well, because of the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so what are they not seeing? The Knight of Pentacles. What is the Knight of Pentacles for Capricorn? This will also explain what the Knight of Pentacles is truly meaning for us in the crossing of the energies. What is the Knight of Pentacles for Capricorn? What are you trying to tell us with the Knight of Pentacles for Capricorn? Well, it's not looking like it's wanting to come out, to be honest. I kind of feel like, okay. Star. Yeah, you're trying to get to a place where your dreams come true, but it's still going to take some time. And it's even too slow for you, it feels like. Something is not happening fast enough for you. Or perhaps the situation is this, that you are currently in position to experience it for what you, based from what you have currently, but there may be, you may feel like you don't have what you want yet because it's not all the way there. So things have changed, and I feel like you're very close to what you already have to be, what you already have or what you already want as far as what makes you happy. Because the star would suggest not only healing, but maybe this is a part of, this is an aspiration, something that you want to go for, a new dream. And I feel like the Knight of Pentacles is saying that you're being very precise and very cautious about getting to, and very diligent towards your dream. But you're being so detail focused that you're not actually seeing anything. Not only are you not noticing any progress, but it's feeling overwhelming. I don't think this is a time to dissect things piece by piece. And I feel like you guys are noticing that you're overwhelming yourselves with so many little details that don't really matter right now because you're in the process of changing stuff anyway. So the stuff that you're getting used to, or the stuff that you have just gotten used to, you're now having to change again. And it's like, wow, where am I going to get consistency? Well, you get consistency by being in the moment. So that way you always express something authentic. You're expressing from an authentic place. You're being real with who you are in the moment. And therefore that will allow you to be consistent and stable because you're always going to be able to adapt to what's happening. The Knight of Pentacles is a mutable sign and it's Virgo. And although they are they're very changeable, they're good at adapting, it still takes them a second because they are processes. Things go this way, this goes here, and things kind of remain consistent in that front of always being organized. But I feel like the situation right now can't be organized because there's something that's changing in the process. You can't organize a change. There's something that's changing. You can, but maybe a little hard, and you may end up being, definitely overwhelmed by it, like the Eight of Swords is suggesting. But if you're just in the moment with it, you can then use what you have after the changes to then organize and then feel a lot more better about it. But I kind of get this vibe that there's something is trying to be structured when it's not quite ready to be, because there's still this change that's happening in your life that's not quite finished yet. So your crowning energy or your advice is coming up as the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups is someone that is always in their emotions, someone that's very present in their feels. But for you, Capricorn, Queen of Cups is actually is actually Cancer energy. And Cancerian energy is located in your 7th house, typically by going by equal house system, and based off of your sun and your rising. A lot of your times, we don't typically the sun has the 7th. Its opposite sign is always going to be Cancer, but not seen as the 7th house. It's asking you to tap into that very emotional, gushy kind of energy. You're being very practical, where Scorpio energy is prominent. So if you know anything about Scorpio energy, being practical within a time of extreme exfoliating change, probably ain't gonna be the best for you because you're always gonna be, running into each other, and a lot of things is just getting erased. There's not much to do necessarily. So I feel like the vibe, is the energy is directing it towards emotions. Yes, there's action that you want to take at this moment, but first and foremost, I feel like you have to feel that feeling to want to take action. But I feel like if there is any action that needs to be taken, it's not one where it's based off of routine structure that's pre-existing. I feel like right now the skeleton is being completely wiped, and you're being handed a new body, or you're being reborn. Something's being rebirthed. And the way that you can adapt and to, utilize it to the best of its ability is not by trying to create a structure or routine right now, but to be in the moment and just go with how you feel. Just receive what's coming. Not necessarily be ready to fight against it or structure it or to work with it necessarily. Just be open to what's coming. And don't worry about what's coming, because you will be able to handle it. You'll be just fine. But the Queen of Cups is suggesting to be a Cancer, which is really interesting. Be your opposite energy. Don't fight the wave, go with the wave. Cancerian energy is about going with the flow. It's more Piscean, go with the flow, but Cancer energy is fluid, it's emotional, but it is also non-resistance. It's a non-resistant stance to the changes that are coming. And I feel like they're not bad changes. This is just changes that are outside of what you're used to, but you'll be just fine and you'll be able to adapt just fine. But you have to give your space, and you got to give yourself that room to adapt to it.